Hey everybody, welcome back to In Bed with the Millennial. I'm the Millennial Javeda Bay, and this is my bed, and it's my birthday! And I know you didn't think that I was not gonna make content on my birthday because, like, hello, it's me. Yes, I am. But we gonna celebrate because it's my birthday. And I take my birthday very seriously. Javeda Day is an international holiday. But that's not the focus of the video. That's not what we're talking about today. It's a new month, which means we're on a new topic. And this month I want to talk about compulsions. With some very specific ones in mind. The first one being compulsory sexuality. And if you have been watching any of the content from last month, then you've heard me say this phrase a few times because there's a book that I read for school that talked about it, and I've just been like referencing it because it relates to so many different things. And if you're like, what book is it, Javay? It's Refusing Compulsory Sexuality by Sherronda Brown. Obviously, it is definitely in the description of this video. I think everyone should go read it. But it really just like set me on a path to want to talk about compulsory sexuality. So that's what we're doing. Okay, Javay. What's compulsory sexuality? Because I missed it in the past videos. No problem. Compulsory sexuality is the idea that sex is universally desired as a feature of human nature, that we are essentially obligated to participate in sex at some point in life, and that there is something fundamentally wrong with anyone who does not want to, whether perceived as a defect of morality, psychology, or physiology. That's a direct quote from Sherronda Brown's book, page 7. But that is what compulsory sexuality is. It's this idea that like everybody and their mama wants to engage in sex and sexual activity. And if people don't, then something's wrong with them. And you might be like, Javay, like, what? Like, I'm so confused. And that's fair. It's fair to be confused because you're probably like, so what? It's a problem to like sex? No, it is not a problem to like sex at all. I like sex. The problem lies in the part of this expectation that everyone is supposed to feel the exact same way about sex. Meaning, oh my gosh, rah, 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 let's get it on. And that's not the case for everyone. And it's okay if that's not the case for everyone. Compulsory sexuality is talking about how it's this like ingrained idea in our society as human people that sex is supposed to be something that we're all after. Everybody's supposed to want it, whether they say it outright or they just like are like meek and timid and shy about it, but everybody's supposed to want sex. And then if people don't meet that idea of what you're supposed to be as a human person, then there's a problem with them. And that's where the problem lies with compulsory sexuality. It tries to other folks, and we're not here for the othering of people. Everybody's their own individual. No one gets to decide like, yes, everyone has to be this type of way. That, my friends, is called tyranny, and no, we're not here for that. And so with compulsory sexuality perpetuating this idea that like, oh yeah, well, if they don't like having sex and something's wrong with them, they should like go to a doctor, like we should stay away from them because obviously they're broken in some way, shape, or form. And one, that's not cool. Two, that's not true. So we're not on the rah-rah compulsory sexuality train. And another aspect of compulsory sexuality, which we'll get into deeper later this month, is that it aligns itself also with like compulsory heterosexuality. So this idea that like straight is right, like that's it, like everybody's straight, everybody's supposed to be straight, which we know is not the case, which we know is not true. So it has a lot of like intertwinings with each other, and so that's why it becomes like this really like harmful thing, because at the end of the day, compulsory sexuality being best buds with compulsory heterosexuality makes them like best friends that push out anybody that doesn't meet those two giant things of like loving sex, but only loving sex as straight sex. And so like, and you might be wondering, okay, Javay, but like, how can you be a sex educator and not be like all about compulsory sexuality and like everybody loving sex? Because, my friends, I am a sex positive sex educator. And if you don't know, my sex positivity definition is not that like everyone loves sex and they're having like bomb sex all the time. It's that everyone is educated and knowledgeable around the different components of sex and sexuality to make whatever decisions they want to make for themselves. Be it not engaging in sexual activity, only engaging in specific types of sexual activity, waiting until they hit a specific point in their life to engage in sexual activity. Everyone getting to decide for themselves. That's my sex positivity. I'm not being like, oh yeah, you have to love sex in every way, shape, or form, because that's unrealistic. I'm just like, I'm so sex positive that we can talk about it, that you can ask your questions, and that you can make your decisions for yourself and not off of what somebody else deems to be the right way to be a sexual being. Because there's no right way. It's your way. Well, there's some right ways to do things, like consent, obviously, always. But like, you know, there's no perfect picture, like, oh my gosh, that is the perfect sexual being. Like, there are no flaw. Like, they're perfect as a sexual being. No, that's unrealistic. That's not true. And so I'm a sex educator with that realm of sex positivity. The realm that's like, nah. I'm here to give you the information. You get to make the choices as you want to make them. I'm not going to tell you that, yeah, you got to go give a blowjob or go finger somebody today. Like, no, if you don't want to do that, don't do that. But I want people to be prepared. Just like I feel that everyone should know how to change a flat tire, because if it ever arises and you're like, crap, I don't know what to do you want to be standing in the rain waiting for somebody, or do you want to actually know what you're supposed to do and be able to handle your situation? And also have the choice though. Like, you might be able to know how to do it, but you might be able to like, I pay the $80 a year, I've got AAA, I'm patient, I ain't got no plans, I'm gonna wait here for AAA to come fix it. Like, having the options to make the choices that work for you is what I'm about with my sex education. So no, I'm not over here being like, yes, compulsory sexuality. I'm over here being like, yes, here's sex education. Do with it what you want, need, and will. But I want you to have the information. That's what we're about. That's why I'm not rah-rah compulsory sexuality. And then another reason why we should be mindful of compulsory sexuality is because, as it talks about in Sherronda Brown's book, it erases a lot of different folks, especially asexual folks. And especially with this notion that something is wrong with them because they don't engage in sex. They don't like sex the way that everybody else does or should, which also has so many layers to that. Because one, you're assuming that all asexual folks are the exact same and they view sex and engage with sex in the same manner. Not the case. Two, you're just like you're othering folks, and for no good reason, with no good like understanding of anything. It's very presumptuous. And if you've not heard, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and you make an ass out of me, and you ain't about to be making an ass out of me. So let's stop with the assumptions. But the erasure of folks, it also puts people further on the margins. And we already know that LGBTQIA plus folks are already on the margins of society. They are a marginalized population. And then to further marginalized folks under the realm of compulsory sexuality, like, come on, we gotta do better. So yeah, we're not rooting for compulsory sexuality. We're rooting for sex positivity. Yes, always and forever. But we're not rooting for compulsory sexuality. So yeah, that is that. If you're like, oh, okay, Jave, this is new, I'm learning something new, and you want to dive deeper, obviously Sherronda Brown's book. Go read it. Go get it. And if you're like, I want more academically rooted stuff, Jave, you know, I got you. This article is also a really great read. If you don't have a way to access it, you know you can email me. I will email it to you. But yes, that is that. This is only part one. Next week, I'm gonna dive even deeper into like what we can actually do, like proactively, so that way we're not further perpetuating compulsory sexuality. But that's next week. So you got to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss it. And definitely make sure you're following me on all the social media platforms, because I go deeper and deeper and offer so much stuff. And I want you to have it all. And definitely make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter, because that's where the good stuff is. And lastly, definitely make sure you're checking out my podcast. I know I'm a little behind. I missed a month. That's okay. I'm back on it. And definitely make sure you share this with your friends. We got to spread the word about compulsory sexuality, so that way we're not all engaging with it and in it, you know? But yeah, until next time. Oh, also, it's my birthday, so feel free to wish me happy birthday in the comments. Hit me on social media with the happy birthdays, all of it. If you really want to make my birthday happy, though, you're going to subscribe to this YouTube channel. But yeah, until next time, I'm going to see you later. Deuces.